Jane is a 20-year-old college student being treated for an injured wrist from a drunken college night.
Jane, do you have a few minutes to talk to me about what happened last night?
Oh man, I don't know if I can remember, but I'll try.
Okay. Well, I understand you were drinking last night. Do you also smoke or use tobacco or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't smoke or anything like that. Do you use any kind of drugs, whether it be prescription drugs, recreational drugs, anything like that?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, so in the last year, have you had more than 3 drinks in one day?
Last night I think I had 5.
Okay. How many days in a week do you typically drink?
Oh boy. Probably like at least 3. So I go to Taco Tuesdays and I have lots of margaritas with my girlfriends. And then we have to go to all the frats on Friday and Saturdays together.
Sure. All right, Jane. So in the last 12 months, have there been any times where you drank more than you planned on?
That happens all the time. I
Does
can't
it?
keep track of how many times.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's college.
So in that time period where you're talking about where you drank more than you planned, were you ever so drunk that you blacked out, you don't remember anything?
A couple of times, yeah.
Okay. Did you ever get so, drunk that you felt like you were a potential harm to yourself or others or anything like that?
No, I don't have a car here, so I don't think I would ever be able to hurt anybody.
Okay. Okay, so you said you don't have a car, so you walk home?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about your walks home. What are those like? Do you remember most of them? Do you walk alone? Do you walk with friends? Do you have a large group of people?
Honestly, most of the time I can't really remember the walk home.
Really?
Most of the time it's with friends, but it's kind of blurry.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad to hear that you're not driving while you're drunk because, as you know, that has a lot of potential to harm not only yourself, but others as well. So you're definitely doing the right thing by walking home to keep others safe.
Yeah, I guess I just get in this state where I'm oblivious to everything that's going on around me when I'm drunk, I think. Everything's just dandy.
Okay. So what I'm hearing when you say that is that you drink so much that you put yourself in a very vulnerable position, which really puts you at a lot of risk for getting hurt or taken advantage of.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of it like that, but that is pretty scary.
So based on what you shared with me, it sounds like you're really putting yourself in harm's way with this kind of behavior. While it may not affect your immediate health, there are a lot of long-term consequences that come with this kind of drinking.
Well, I know it seems pretty bad, but most people my age are doing this too.
Sure. Well, based from what you've told me about your drinking habits, it does sound like you would fall into the moderate risk range for your age with alcohol use.
What does that mean?
Well, Jane, I'm glad you asked that. By drinking as much as you do, you, in comparison to other people your age, are drinking a lot more than the average person. And by doing that, you're putting yourself at risk for a lot of long-term health consequences, like cancer, liver disease, pancreas disease, high blood pressure, and a lot of other things.
My dad has liver disease.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Is he doing okay? Is he coping with it okay?
He's not doing so well. I think he's on the outs.
I'm sorry. Well, Jane, can I offer you some advice?
Sure.
Okay, so what I'd really like you to do, Jane, is just, try to cut back on your alcohol use. I still want you to go out, have fun with your friends, do what you've been doing, but just try to cut back. That way you just kind of put yourself into a designated driver kind of situation every once in a while, just to kind of limit your exposure.
Well, I just don't understand why I can't drink a lot now, and then, later in life when I get in the real world, I'll cut back a little bit, make up for this time.
Well, one problem with that is, I know earlier I told you about the long-term health consequences of drinking so much, but another problem that's associated with this are, the immediate effects. And I know you probably don't think about that when you're doing it, but when you drink to the point where you're blacking out, you don't remember the night, it puts you in a really precarious position where, you can be taken advantage of, you walk home, your friends abandon you, or they're just not paying attention. You can easily get mugged, you can be assaulted, raped. There's a great number of things that can happen to you, and you would have no idea that it happened because you're, past that point.
I see what you're saying, but honestly, this really doesn't affect my everyday life.
So, how does your drinking affect your relationships with your friends and family?
My friends think I'm a blast. They go out with me all the time, so
sure.
not a problem.
I can see that. Do you have a roommate or anything like that?
Yeah, she's my best friend from high school.
How do you think your drinking affects your relationship with your roommate?
Well, She stays up and studies a lot, and then I stumble in at night and I wake her up, and she gets really mad at me. She loses a lot of sleep because of me.
Okay, so from what I understand, what you're saying is that your drinking has recently kind of affected your relationship with your roommate. Not only your roommate, but like you said, your best friend since high school.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I didn't realize how much my drinking affects my life.
Sure. And a lot of people, they get caught up in the moment, and it's understandable. And I can definitely appreciate the fact that you have so much insight for your age. A lot of people aren't able to do that and have that introspective view on things. So I definitely appreciate that. So what about your relationship with your parents? We haven't really talked about that.
Well, it's kind of hard. I always forget to call them now that I'm in college, and I have a lot of fun during the week and on the weekends. And actually, I didn't even call them this week.
Well, I can certainly understand that. College is very busy, and I'm sure they can understand that to a certain point of degree. But it does sound like it really has affected not only relationship with your friends, your roommate, but it also sounds like it's affecting your relationship with your parents as well. Does this worry you at all?
I mean, now that you mention it, yeah, it does.
All right, Jane, so I have this little card here, and so what I want to do is kind of gauge, how ready you are for change. So we're going to look at this together, and the scale, is just 0 to 10. It's really pretty simple. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being I don't want to change at all, I think I'm fine, and 10 being, I do want to change, I want to make things different in my life. Where would you say you're at right now?
I'd probably say right in the middle out of 5.
5, okay, that's pretty good. So why didn't you choose a lower number, like 2 or 3 or even a 0?
Well, I'm pretty ashamed of what happened last night. My wrist is killing me, and now I've realized what I've done to my family and friends, and I just think I keep putting myself in risky situations, and I don't even know it, and that really scares me.
All right, Jane. Well, since you do seem like you're ready to change, what are some things that you think you could do to cut back on your alcohol use?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably still going to have fun with my friends, but
Sure.
maybe during the week, maybe on Taco Tuesday, I could either not have a margarita or just have half of one and be the designated driver.
Okay. Do you have any other ideas, any other plans that you could use?
Oh, well, like I said, maybe I'll cut down on the nights that I go out and spend some more time with my roommates, study, and I am here for school, and I probably should focus on that a little more than my drinking.
Good. Okay, that's great. So I'm hearing that you're willing to change your lifestyle and implement some healthy things to your life to kind of cut back on your drinking, and that's really great. So what I'd like you to do tonight when you get home, maybe write down some of these things that you want to implement. That way it kind of, maybe implants it a little bit better, and you have it on paper just as a constant reminder. Anytime you're kind of having doubts and you're thinking about doing these things, you can go back and reference this. So I'd really like you to do that for me, and if you could, just go down the hall, and I'd like to really set up another appointment with you just so we can follow up, kind of reassess, see where things are at, see if you had any improvements, if you have any more questions or anything like that. That way, we can kind of continue this and, really get you on the path that you want to be on. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I'll go home and I'll write some of those goals down just so I can remember them. And thanks for talking to me today. I'll make sure to make a follow-up appointment.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.